Welcome back to another edition of the Gabagools Podcast, episode 56. With me today on this sunny Monday, Disco the Inferno Dan. How we feeling?
Oh, Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn. Woo! Uh, we're living good today, living the dream. It is a Monday, like you said. Monday. Little chilly out there, but not too bad. The sun is out, thank God.
Yeah, as you can see
And
behind me, if I don't move my head, it's like you're going to be blinded by the light.
I'll tell you, that's two song references in 40 seconds. So we might have to, this is number 56. This might have to be like the groovy pod, or like we'll come up with a nickname for it by the end of it, some
Yeah,
sort of musical
you know, I
talent.
feel like you're a big disco dancer guy too. You throw
I
one of these.
I'm an old school guy. I like to do a little dance, a couple of these. I like to. I've got a few moves. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I've got a wedding coming up in the next month. Shout out to Brennan and Deb. You a couple lovebirds. Can't wait. We're going to be doing the sprinkler. Some of those. We might be pulling out the shopping cart.
The
I mean,
shopping cart.
the shopping cart, real quick with the shopping cart,
Yeah,
everybody always
please.
goes up to the top. No one ever goes down below, right? I mean, there's something down, middle, right, that you could be grabbing.
Yeah.
Everybody always goes up top. Oh, I'll go over here. You got to mix it up a little bit, and then you got to go down another aisle, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for us short king, well, not you short king, but for me and the rest of the short kings in the world, you know, the lower the shelf, the better anyway. So
Yeah, similar to my favorite character on Game of Thrones, the Demon Monkey,
Demon Monkey.
the Imp.
Oh my God, Tyrion Lannister. He's a underrated character, especially those first couple seasons for sure.
Oh, he's a stud.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice if I didn't give you who is this player for number 56, and I'm sure you're going to get it right away.
I hope
Um,
so.
Five-time All-Star, 2005 World Champion,
Oh,
four-time
goodness.
Gold Glover. He's got 214 wins with a 3.81 ERA. They used to call him Mr. 200 innings because he was consistently doing it for almost every year of it. Every chance he got, he basically threw 200 innings each year.
Now, is this guy? I got one question for you. I'm pretty sure I know who this is.
Yeah.
This is one of those guys that would get the ball, get back on the mound, and he was known for pitching the game in about 2 hours, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're not going to waste anyone else's time here. This is Mark Burley. Who is that player?
Yes, that is correct. Honestly, one of my favorite players growing up. Obviously, it was so much fun watching him. If you wanted to go to a baseball game and you wanted it to be quick, as you touched on, he was the one to go watch because, he just goes out and takes the ball every fifth day and, did his job. And it was always fun watching him, too. Never had overpowering stuff, had a decent changeup. I think he'll end up being a World Series, or not World Series, uh,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. I think eventually he'll end up on that list. So fingers crossed.
You know what? He was always a guy when you were watching, you're like, man, like when you just just from the eye test, you watch him, you're like, this guy's better than the majority of guys out there. And this is coming from a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Burley was always good, like you said, Mr. 200 innings. He'd pitch games in 2 hours or less, which we can barely do nowadays, and we've got a pitch clock. Um, he was a bit of a throwback, right? Like you said, stuff wasn't the best in the league. Not that he had bad stuff; it was obviously good, but we had guys throwing 98 back in his day a few years back, and um, just Mr. Consistency. I don't even know if he was ever on the IL for his career. I never remember him being injured.
Not not very long too. And he used to slide on the tarp too. Like if there was a rain delay, that was his thing. He used to be the guy that used to slide across the tarp.
Well, if you know how to slide, then by all means do it. We've got guys at the big league level who barely know how to slide. So,
Yeah.
yeah, more power to you, Burley. Did you say 214 career wins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, people throw those bigger numbers out. The 300 club. But you start digging deep into Burley's career for a team that won the one year, obviously, as you said, no five. Was he good in the playoffs too that year?
I mean, the whole pitching staff was incredible that year.
Yeah.
he was part of the complete game that you'll never, ever, ever, ever see again in our lifetime because pitchers don't go more than 4 innings, especially in the playoffs now.
Yeah.
Part of the 4 complete games. He was nails. He also had a save in the World Series too.
The modern day Madison Bumgarner,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of what kind of what
what
they
he was
had.
doing. Yeah. Yeah, tip of the cap to Mr. Burley. Again, coming from a Cubs fan, he was one of those guys that you could just say, you know what, you got to respect him. He's just a very, very good player.
Absolutely. All right, back into our quick hits. We started that last week. We run through the week in sports or whatnot, and some stuff that comes up. So obviously, we have to jump into it with the NBA because it's kind of a boring time, so we have to like leave it to this. But the brawl. Did you see that between the Wolves and the Pistons?
Okay, so I pulled up one of my apps. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, and I did see a scrum or something. I didn't get into it too much, but yeah, guys were like falling over. Like I saw
It was insane.
DiVincenzo
Yeah,
kind of getting pushed back into the camera guys or whoever was over there, and I mean NBA, you don't see a ton of brawls anymore, but when you do and you see one like that, yeah, I mean it's must see TV.
it really is, and you haven't seen one of those in a while, like a really good fight like that, and multiple suspensions. But I think it started with like Naz Reid got who he's just a bad dude to begin with. Like you don't want to really fuck with him. He got fouled, and then it just started a little shoving match, and then DiVincenzo, always opens his mouth, so he was chirping at the rest of the guys. So yeah, not shocking, but yeah, kind of fun to see. Another fun thing I noticed the Houston Rockets, who were one of the worst teams like the last couple of years, are second seed right now in the West. I was shocked by that.
Yes, they were just talking about some of those teams because I think we're coming down to the wire a little bit with the NBA season and the NHL season as well since they coincide. But yeah, Houston, I've been so out of the loop with
Same,
us this year, especially because we can't watch the Bulls.
right?
So I couldn't even tell you who some of their top guys are on Houston, but good for them. I'll be watching some of the playoffs. The one team that surprised me the last 2 years, especially this year too, is Oklahoma City. They were, I think they finished with the three-way tie last year with Denver and Minnesota, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken, and then this year they ran away with the West, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not even close, really. Just a good overall fundamental team. All those draft picks finally added up, and they still have
Yeah,
plenty. I think still going through like 2030 of just first round picks coming in, which is just insane. But yeah, SGA is going to be probably the MVP this year. I mean, I'm not like you
he's
said.
been
I
unreal.
watched. He's just been the highlights I've seen. He's been insane, and no one even comes close to him.
It's like minimum 30 a game from him, and I mean, you don't have to be a casual fan to know that that's good. You put on one of their games, you expect him to score 30 or 40. He's just like automatic right now.
Absolutely. Then you got the Cavs. They hit 60 wins for the first time since the LeBron era. So that's pretty impressive. They've looked pretty dominant in the East as well between them and the Celtics. And then also looks like our Bulls have looked pretty good the last couple of weeks. Josh Giddey hit that game winner over LeBron. So kind of cool. And then yeah, we're locked into a playoff spot. So let's see if we could take. We got the play-in game, so hopefully we can win one and make Jerry some more money, right?
Yeah, that'd be ideal, right? But yeah, shout out to the Bulls. Haven't been able to really see you guys at all this year, but I know they've been playing great the last few weeks. And you know what? We got some decisions to make. I think didn't you say Giddy's a free agent at the end of the year?
I don't remember.
Not
I
sure
don't
on
know.
that one, but I mean, Kobe White's coming up too, if not this year, next year. So they've both of those guys have been balling out. Um, I'm
I think,
assuming Vooch has been playing well.
yeah, you know what? I think we're going to look at it and we're going to say, we're going to see Giddy end up being like a steal of a trade. A lot of people hated that trade and made fun of it. I mean, I think I was one of those people included. Well, I didn't really make fun of it, but just because it was off the court stuff, and he kind of was like non-existent with the OKC. But for how high of a draft pick it was for trading Caruso, say less. I would take a chance on a 22-year-old top 10 pick all day. Um, if we could get him to stay, which based off of him and White, if they can keep this chemistry up, I mean, we might end up with a decent little backcourt here. And then, if we can draft some good players, but the problem is that we're still sitting in the middle of the road, so we're not going to get any of these big fish. But hopefully we could drop a bag on somebody and say, hey, come on in and, or, get some of these young guys to finally take that next step, the Patrick Williams of the world, who just doesn't look interested to be there either. So,
Yeah, and then the other problem for the Bulls is, you got other teams in the East that have started to ascend, other than like Boston and Milwaukee over the last couple of years. Obviously, you mentioned Cleveland with how good they've been. So, yeah, we'll see.
yeah, not really a lot to be excited about, but give you a little something. And then, just touching on hockey, Blackhawks signed two of their top draft picks, Oliver Moore and Sam Rinsel. So that means that because their college season finished up this past week at Minnesota, so they were able to sign them up, lock them in, and then they're already up on the team. Obviously we're in last place, so it doesn't really make a difference, but it's good to get these young guys out there. Oliver Moore is a speedy forward. He got drafted a couple years ago. I think it was the same draft as Bedard, if I believe that's correct. He was drafted 19th overall. He had an okay year with Minnesota, but he's going to be the biggest thing that we lacked the last couple of years was speed, and he's going to bring it to the table with him. Frank Nazar, I think I mentioned him a couple times in the pod, and then whoever else they put on his line. So that'll be pretty fun. And then Sam Rinsel is a defenseman. Also played at Minnesota, won a couple of gold medals in juniors, so that's pretty cool. And then, I think he will end up turning into one of our top defensemen too. So Artem's up, and then Korchinski as well got recalled. So, our defensemen are coming up. We got, a lot of this youth movement's finally happening. So exciting times for the Blackhawks.
Hawks are on the up and up.
Let's get it. All right. Now moving into the favorite top. Well, let's jump into March Madness here. So might be the chalkiest or lack thereof madness this year when it's all one seeds, which is the first time since 2008. So we have Auburn versus Florida. Florida is favored at 2.5, and then we got Duke, who's minus 5.5 versus Houston, which I kind of like those odds for Houston to cover that. Houston's a very good team.
You know what? Yeah, they're good. But I had Houston being upset in the second round by the Zags, and that almost happened. Houston, yes, they're a good team. That's probably the one team left that could give Duke the toughest game, in my opinion. And I think Duke's going to take care of them. I don't think they're going to win by 20, but
Yeah.
I also think that Duke's going to,
I think it's going to be their biggest test for sure. I think we're going to see Houston really put them against the ropes. I know they barely got by Purdue, but then they absolutely slaughtered Tennessee.
Yeah, and I know Duke. That's the toughest game they're going to have. They whooped up on Bama, Duke by 20, and then they had a close game against Arizona. Duke only won by like 7, so that surprised me a little bit because up until that game they were running through everybody, but they just look too good. The Houston-Auburn game, too, that'll be quite the game. In my opinion, I don't know if you saw any of that Florida-Texas Tech game on Saturday, but that game annoyed me because, that game was smelling upset, at least in my opinion, the whole game. Tech could not get a foul, and they couldn't get to the free throw line. And then when they did, like 3 times in the entire game, they didn't make any of their freaking free throws. You gave this game to Florida, in my opinion. Florida had, they shot 20 or more free throws right around there, and they made, if not every one, everything but 1 or 2 of them. That's how you win games if you're a good team. Yes, they're the number 1 seed. Yes, they have good players. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a guy on their team who is 7'9"?
Yeah, he's a giant. He's like one of their centers, obviously.
So that to me, and again, this might be the second Game of Thrones reference on here, just because it's on the brain. Girlfriend and I have been binging it, but he reminds me of that guy in Game of Thrones who's with
the Mountain, right?
No, not the Mountain. The guy who's like an actual giant. I don't know. I don't know his name,
I
but I
couldn't
don't know
tell
if
you.
it
I know
was.
who you're talking about at least.
I don't know his name, but I mean, you look at this guy and you're like, dude, what the fuck is this guy eating? You know what I mean? Um, we got some good games lined up this next Saturday, but I mean, in my eyes, it's still Duke's to lose. They're the best team and going still.
Yeah. Um, I got Florida in our bracket. I'm kind of sticking with them. I think just basically what I've seen out of them, it would take a lot for them to lose. They've kind of been tested. They've come back. I was right about Texas Tech making a little run there at the end, but um, they let Florida off the hook. So we'll see what
Tech,
ends up
yeah,
happening.
you're right. I think Tech was up. I think 10 points at some point late in that second half, and
Yeah.
you're like, this game might be over. And then of course Tech just couldn't buy a bucket if you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat, and then they just get to the free throw line, man. For fuck's sake.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, that's all I got for March Madness. I mean, I think the NIL is killing the sport a little bit just because all these good players are getting recruited by big teams. So they'll play one good year, or they'll have a huge year for like one of these mid majors, and then end up getting moved to end up getting more money from Carolina or Duke or somebody like that, just so they could go play. So it'll be interesting the next couple of years to see what what gets changed.
Yeah, someone was talking about that on ESPN the other day, and they said, I mean, for the majority, most of those mid-major schools, kids are going to go up. You're also going to get some kids that transfer down. So it's going to work both ways, but I think the majority of that, obviously, is you're going to get the kids who are going to go to the bigger schools for more money. So we'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't completely kill the NIL, but that's the thought right now, for
Yep,
sure.
absolutely. Shifting into baseball, we had the opening day weekend, so it was pretty exciting. I'm just going to touch on the White Sox really quickly. Obviously, you have to. So
Do
they're
we?
yeah, we do. They're starting pitching, even today included, still haven't given up an earned run. Um,
Who are you
every
guys playing today?
Minnesota, and we're up 9-0. They haven't had anything. We're on watch right now, if you know what I
So
mean.
if
I'm
you
not gonna ruin
so
it.
if you guys win a few more games for the rest of this week, are you going to switch your tune and say you guys are going to win your division, or is this just
Just a good start.
okay?
New
No, I'm just poking the bear. That's all right. Continue.
Yeah, no, basically I said this earlier too offline, but they have a new feel to this team, and it's not like a feel where it's like, oh, this team could really make a run. I don't think it's that type of case. I think this team could win some ball games, just based off of the new coach. Like with having Will Venable, I think he actually has changed the culture there. I think they did get rid of a lot of guys that were cancerous in there, so hopefully this continues. If we could see like Robert really light it up, I mean he always sucks in the first month of the season because it's so cold here. Um, but the pitching staff, back to that, rounding it back up, they've been incredible. So in MLB history, there's only been like a handful of teams who their starters have gone 5+ innings with 0 earned runs, 4 hits or less, and in the first 3 games of the season. One was the 76 Brewers, 2013 Giants, 2018 Twins, 2019 Blue Jays, and your 2025 Chicago White Sox. Their starting pitching has been incredible.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, that was probably going to be your strong suit coming into the year because you had a couple guys from last year that looked all right. I know that Drew Thorpe, I think, is injured or he might be out for the year. I forget, but
Tommy John. Yep.
yeah. So I mean, honestly, your rotation was looking like it was going to be even better with him in it because he looked pretty good last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got some bright points in the rotation, and as you know, and as every other White Sox fan should know, you got a lot of good pitching down there. That if they're not coming up this year, they'll probably be up next year. So the rotation and the bullpen for you guys going forward should be a strong. Should be a big plus for you. Now, can you get some hitters over there to actually hit the ball? It looks like you are today.
Yeah, today we're up 9-0, seventh inning against the Twins. So far so good. But on the a guy who will probably get called up very soon, honestly, is Kyle Teal. We talked about him on previous podcasts, the catcher. He's been incredible for AAA. In 2 games, he's gone 5 for 9 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs to start the season. So I would expect some help to come, especially, given that catcher has kind of, they built catcher at the major league level just to be replaceable. I think we had Matt Thies starting today, and then we have the other guy from Houston. His name's slipping my mind, but so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Not a lot of hits or runs, but the team just doesn't look like they've given up. So like that's a good start, I guess.
Well, I hope you haven't given up after opening week. But yeah, you guys, you started this year. You won a couple games against the Angels, and I'm thinking, what happened to the 2024 White Sox?
Right.
I had a lot of fun last year when you guys lost 121 games, and I was kind of hoping for a repeat, maybe get to 122 or something this year. So looks like maybe we won't see that this year. But I did say this. I'll say it again. Most improved team 2025 season, Southsiders of Chicago.
You know what's hilarious about that too? Even if they win like 15 more games, you know that Will Venable is probably going to get manager of the year just because of that, like turning around the team.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, so far no complaints. It's only been 4 games though, so
Yeah.
we'll see. How's it been on the north side? What do you got to report from the Cubs?
Well, I was out of action the last couple of days, so I haven't seen a ton of games, but I know we won. We were about to win. I think was it a 4-game series with Arizona, and I think we were about to win 3 of the 4. I think we blew one, maybe the last game against them late with the bullpen. We were up like I don't know if it was 8-4 and ended up or 6-4 or something. I don't know. We gave up a bunch of runs in the last couple innings, but um, yeah, I mean, you got some good and some bad in there. We've scored a couple runs. I don't know. I don't know if the pitching's been terrific to start, but it's a couple games. I'm not going to put a ton of stock in that yet. Still picking us to win the division. Hot take, if you will. And
I mean, that division's horrific thus far. I mean, the Cardinals have been a surprise, but I mean,
yeah,
Brewers have gotten absolutely shellacked by the Yankees this past weekend. But yeah, last night's game, I just looked up the box score. It looks like the Cubs gave up 8 runs in the 8th inning, so it looks like not a lot's changed on the bullpen front.
8 in the 8th. That's not going to get it done.
Nope. Still, Kyle Tucker looks good though. I've seen his name quite a bit in the. He's hit a couple home runs already for you guys, so could be decent.
Who's hit a couple home runs already? Speaking of the Yankees, the entire team.
Yeah.
Not only Aaron Judge, we've seen that, but how about this? 9 homers in a game. That's a franchise record for a team like the Yankees. You would have thought they'd have like 20, right? And also tied the MLB record with 15 homers in the first 3 games. Now I don't expect this to continue, but they look good.
It might, because I'm sure you saw all the controversy because of the torpedo bats.
I did see something with these bats. I don't know if it's all the bats. I mean, hey, you know what? I don't know if
Aaron Judge isn't using it, but so here's the thing too, is like it's causing a lot of controversy. Oh, you shouldn't do it. Everyone can do it. There's other teams doing it, so it's not like it's just the Yankees. Apparently, Bellinger, he used it with the Cubs. Like he tried one out last year with the Cubs. Twins catcher Ryan Jeffers, he had a pretty decent year last year, 2 years ago. He's been using one this year, so that's one of the things that's like a non-issue. It basically just makes the barrel look bigger, which, I mean, if there's no rules against it and it's within the MLB, guidelines, why not use it? Every team should be doing it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, they've tried to tinker with the ball, right, a little bit. And, why not be able to tinker with the bat? We've had the same bats for 100 years. So I'm sure with technology and everything, people want to try to get the best edge or the best product out there. So I have no problem with it unless everyone's going to be, hitting 15 homers every 3 games.
You know what?
I don't know.
Then give the pitchers the sticky stuff back. I miss that.
Let's go back to the spider tack.
Yeah, let's get spider tack. Let's get whatever for the bats. Let's get everybody juiced up on steroids. Let's just bring baseball back.
I actually, I might be in favor of that. That could be. Hey, you know what? If the Cubs want to give Kyle Tucker some juice, I'm all for it. I mean, he might hit 70 homers.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes baseball great. Great.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way: the White Sox, yeah, you're starting pitching. You've looked all right to start the year. You know, okay, cry me a river here. You guys will lose 100 games or more again, and everything will be right with the sport. Cubs Cubs will go on, and we'll figure something out
You'll
here.
you'll
Card,
you'll make excuses in July when you drop 7 of 10 to the lonely Reds or the Pirates come in and kick your ass, and then or my personal favorite when you guys blow it in September.
you know what? We'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. But
Way too early in the season.
way too early. Yeah, I wish I had a crystal ball so I could see what the hell was going to happen. But you know what? Um, some good and some bad so far for the Cubs. I'm okay with. You know what? We'll clear up those 8-run eighth innings. All right. We'll find a way to
I've been
knock them
hearing
up
that for
8-8.
I've been hearing that for like 5 or 6 years now from everybody that oh, we just need a bullpen guy. Well, Presley wasn't it clearly. I mean, he'll hopefully work it out, but I don't know. It just seems like it's more of the same where they just cannot develop a bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting a lot of stock into it. 3, 4 games in, and I think we were in Arizona. Ball tends to fly a little bit more up there. Maybe Arizona was using those torpedo bats in the eighth inning for all we know. I don't know, but hey,
God, I
uh,
can only imagine the meatballs on freaking like 670 or ESPN 1000 that absolutely lose their shit about it.
they switched to torpedo bats. You know what? We'll see though. Cubs are still winning the division this year. Mark that down. Write it. Make a shirt. Doesn't matter. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. I mean, based off of how bad the Brewers have been, it's definitely possible. Um, do you have any surprises so far to start the season? Besides, I have one note for you while you think of that, but the fact that the Marlins have won the three games that they've won have all
That's
been
what I was gonna
walkouts.
say. Yeah. I mean, how about that, right? You know, Miami, I mean, how many games are they going to win this year? They're going to be probably not great again because they never get any offense over there. But, good for them. And on top of that, little icing on the cake, they beat Pittsburgh 3 out of those 4 times. So
Yeah,
good to beat up on another NL Central team. Pittsburgh wasn't supposed to be that great this year, anyways. Um, I don't know if they came back and won that game that Skeens was pitching, but I mean, if you don't win every start that Skeens is throwing,
yeah,
you're in some trouble. So
yeah. It's gonna be an ugly year for Pittsburgh. They just don't have anybody. We broke them down. They're just not impressive. Like not an impressive team.
how about this one for you? Baltimore's Tyler O'Neill extends his opening day home run streak to 6. How about that? I mean, the guy's a lock on opening day to hit a bomb.
Yeah, I know. I almost, I honestly forgot to take that bet, that part or
I
not
should have,
parlay.
yeah.
I literally had it, and I ended up taking Bryce Harper, which he still had a home run, which was fine. But I was like, oh, I could. I purposely opened up the app. I'm like, oh, Tyler O'Neill, and I forgot what team he played for, and then I was like, oh, Bryce Harper's gonna hit a home run on opening day. So
Still a good bet to have Harper hit one, but yeah, O'Neill, I think until he hangs him up, the bet has to be opening day, he's going yard.
yeah, absolutely, and it's gonna be like so widespread next year too that he's gonna do it. Another surprise: Braves start off 0-4. They just look like shit, not scoring runs. They've only scored 7 runs in 4 games. Um,
I had to
Padres
I had to do a double take on that. I couldn't believe that Atlanta lost the first 4 games. You lose a few more in your first 10, 15, 20 games of the year, you start to dig yourself a hole. And I know that that's still super early, and Atlanta's a good team. But I think you're still without Acuna for a while, and we'll see how he is when he comes back this year. And, there's other good teams in that division. So I know it's only a couple of games, but you
yeah.
lose 4 games. That's not good.
No, especially not in that division, knowing that like the Mets and Phillies are gonna, really be a tough competition the rest of the year too.
I got another one for you. Pitcher Ryan Nelson, his first major league at bat, gets a hit. First hit by a pitcher since we introduced the universal DH in 2022. So how about that for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, we should just change the rule back because hitter, I mean, that's cool that he did it, but I still remember that argument that people were having that, oh, it ruins baseball. There's no strategy. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, the strategy where the pitcher is going to go up and swing or stand there and maybe get a hit, for the five pitchers that we saw in our lifetime hit home runs. Bumgarner, Arrieta hit a couple. Um, who's the
Carlos
Zambrano?
Zambrano.
Yes, Zambrano was always good for about
He
two a
had more
year.
than a couple. He'd have a
He
year
was
where
good
he
for
hit
two.
10.
Yeah, he was good for like two a year.
Yeah. Interesting though to see a pitcher come up unless you need a pitcher to hit
It was
with
weird. Yeah,
extra man. Yeah, I mean you've got the universal DH. You don't expect to see that anymore. How about Mackenzie Gore with his opening day start? I believe against the
incredible,
Phillies. 13
incredible.
Ks, no walks. Only other pitcher to do that in MLB history is
Who is it?
Bob Gibson.
Oh, very nice. It's good company
Good
to be
company
in.
to have. Yep.
Yes. All right, I got one
Uh,
for you.
what do
Boston
you got?
Red Sox. Rafael Devers, 16 at bats, 12 strikeouts.
Oh, geez. Okay, that I did not know. Still early, but yeah, you're moving from playing a third base position where he was like the worst defensive third baseman last year. Now you're just hitting. Didn't want to do that. That's probably still going on in his mind. But you know what? He's the type of guy. He'll hit a couple homers, figure something out, and he'll still have a great year. But yeah, not a great look to start the year.
No, especially a guy who was throwing a fit about it. Maybe that's what it is. But Stanton, he didn't want to DH either, but he had a rough year and then he turned it around. So we'll see what he ends up doing.
And Devers just got paid, and someone was saying that they think that they could end up moving him in the next year or two because you just got Bregman, who's just the better all-around player.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that happens because they paid him a bunch, but uh, yeah, yeah, that's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah. Dodgers 5-0. They're still pretty good, I guess.
You know what? I mean, when they lose for the first time, I think I might throw a party or something.
There you go. We're looking likely to see Yankees versus Dodgers again. The way they're
How
both
about
playing.
how about your buddy Mookie Betts
Yeah,
loses 20 pounds in the off season because he got sick. Said, you know what? I don't need those 20 pounds. Hits a walk off homer the other day.
I know. Incredible.
I mean, the guy was already a small guy. He loses 20 pounds.
I
I don't
guess
know how
he
he
already
mustered
put,
that thing out of there.
yeah, I guess he just put 10 pounds back on too, because I guess he's just nonstop eating. He has like private chefs and everything cooking for him. I guess he's even eating during the
Sure.
game to keep the weight on.
You know what? Yeah. I read he wasn't eating any solid food. So yeah, I'm sure if you can't have any solid food for as long as he was, I'd be like, dude, just get me a cheeseburger and then just keep ordering it every hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other good notes?
I got one more for you. How about Jeff Conine? He was just inducted. I don't know if you heard that into Miami's Hall of Fame. His kid hit a homer in the seventh, game tying homer, excuse me, in the seventh, and then robbed the local kid Jack Sawinski in the top of the eighth.
Jackie boy. Nice. Very nice. The
Other
Marlins
than that,
3-1 too.
I think those are the most of my top plays or top things of the week so far.
There you go. I mean, that's all I got too for baseball. Obviously, NHL playoffs starting soon, NBA playoffs starting soon, so that'll be fun. Have something else to watch.
Did you say the Bulls were in a playoff play-in game? Are we the 9 seed? Do you know?
Yeah, we're in the 9 currently, so we'll still got some time before time to kill, so we still have to win some ball games, but we should be a lock to make it at least.
Oh, yippee!
Yeah. So unenthusiastic, just going to be a middle of the road team to lose in the first round.
You know what though? I mean, we make the playing game. I'll probably put it on because I haven't been able to see them at all. I've seen like
Yeah.
a part of one or two games when they're on ESPN or something. So I'll probably put them on as long as we make it, and maybe who knows? Maybe we win a couple games and we get a series.
Yep, absolutely. And then obviously tomorrow is April, so NFL draft coming up.
April Fool's Day then, right? Tomorrow? Or is that
Tomorrow,
April Fool's Day? Do you do anything for April Fool's Day? Anyone ever
I
fooled you?
I do not. I usually try to stay away from it.
Yeah, I don't know if we are a big April Fool's Day fan either. I don't know who is, but I figured I'd ask. Maybe we're
Yeah,
gonna play a prank on someone. I don't know.
no, no, but April 25th, I believe, is the NFL draft. The or yeah, 24th through the 26th. So it'll be good to talk football again. It's the best part about the NFL is it seems like there's always some sort of news going on. I mean, we don't know where Rodgers is going to play next year. It's either Steelers or bust. It looks like
Yeah, I haven't heard too many other teams. We heard the Giants, but then they went and signed a couple guys, so it's looking like
they
Pittsburgh,
could.
or maybe he decides to hang him up. But I don't know if he hangs him up.
No, I think he either plays for Pittsburgh or he just sits out the year. The Giants could do the funniest thing too. Like after they signed Jameis Winston, they signed Russell Wilson. Now with I think they have the third pick in the draft. If they draft Sanders, that would be the funniest thing to me. Bring in three quarterbacks.
Hey, you know what? Someone has to get the ball to my guy, Malik Neighbors. If any one of those three or four guys you just mentioned wants to throw the ball to Malik all year, I am okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Like I said, excited for that, and fantasy. Well, we got fantasy baseball starting. How's your teams looking?
Well, between the three leagues, two of them are okay. The beer league, I'm looking all right in. I don't know if I'm going to win this first week. Our dynasty league, I don't know if I'm looking great. Yeah, he's already laughing. And then my other league's pretty solid so far. I've got Aaron Judge in that league. I've got other good players too, but Judge, I mean, with that 30-point game or whatever he had a
Yeah,
couple days ago, that certainly helped out. I need a little more pitching in one or two of these leagues. I need some guys to stay healthy. That league, half of my rotation or more is on the IL already. So
yep, I hear you.
yeah,
Started off the year pretty rough with that too, and then obviously I didn't have many draft picks in beer leagues, so have to kind of rely on some of these young pitchers to kind of hit. And so far, first week they've been okay. Um, J Ram's hurt, so we'll see how. Hopefully, he comes back pretty quickly.
they said I think that the X-rays came back negative, and they said he could be used as a pinch hitter. I don't know if that's today or tomorrow, but praying that that's not a big deal because yeah,
Your
he's
dynasty team might be already entering rebuild mode.
all right. You know what? Let's. I'm not even. I've been thinking that too, and I'm pretty upset about that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right.
Yeah, you'll rebuild, and I could help contribute to that if you'd like. And
Yeah, I
I
don't
could get
know if
that third.
I.
I could get that third title in a row.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that. So I think I'll look for someone else in the league. I'm too competitive to just give you the league every other year, and then you and all your other leagues, you're winning the league in every other year and every other league. So
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you are my cousin. I get that. I do love you, but I selfishly, I don't want to see you win all this. It's too much. It's too
yeah.
much.
Well, at least for
So
Gridiron, when I won the football league, that was the first time in like 10 years. So I
yeah.
had to win
Well,
one finally there.
yeah. Well, you didn't have to, but yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, making the championship 3 out of 4 years, and if I wouldn't have won this year, it would have been bad news bears. I would have probably just given up.
You'd have been like the Buffalo Bills back in the day.
Oh, yeah, especially after making back-to-back title runs too. That'd have been something. But yeah, I think we could close it out there. It's gonna be another kind of just baseball week, but baseball's back, so it's always something on the tube.
Baseball's back, baby.